And when I left school, the head of our school, he said, I hope you can do something in football, because if not, I have not the best feeling for your future. and he had a microphone, so everybody of the 4,000 people in it could hear it. And I said, oh, thank you. Yeah, so I was a sport goofy of the school. Not too bad in sport, not too smart in the rest of the school, but funny.
Every minute of an hour, don't think about the rest. When we all give the power, we all give the best. When everyone gets everything and every song, everybody sing, life is life. Na 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 na. Life is life. Na 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 na. Life.
In October 2015, Jurgen Klopp was unveiled as manager of Liverpool Football Club. He's the 20th incumbent of the Anfield hot seat and the first from Germany. It was there he developed a reputation as one of the finest coaches in Europe. This is the story of how he rose from humble beginnings to one of the most coveted jobs in world football. This is Klopp's journey to the top. In the summer of 1967, Norbert Klopp and his wife Elisabeth drove 50 miles through Germany's Black Forest. They left their home in Stuttgart for a new life in the small, picturesque town of Glatten. Norbert and Elisabeth had 3 children, 2 daughters and an infant son, Jurgen.
Football maniac father, full of love mother. I think most of the time full of love sisters. Was not always easy with a little brother, and then I started playing football. The first moment when what I really can remember is World Championship 1974. I was 7 years old then, and it was Germany against Chile. I think it was my birthday. Instead of having something like a birthday party, we watched the game. Paul Breitner shot a not too bad goal, and that was really remarkable. And yeah, a lot of time in my life I thought back to this moment.
The Black Forest is a beautiful area. It's quite rural, it's very warm, there's lots of vineyards there, it's very hilly. It's Swabians, people who live there, have a reputation for being very, very hard working. I think that work ethic is something that they're famous for all over Germany, and of course so many big football coaches have come from that area. Jurgen Klinsmann, Ralf Rangnick, Thomas Tuchel, all born or worked in Stuttgart. And of course, growing up, like most kids in the area, Jurgen was a huge fan of VfB Stuttgart.
For me, it was the biggest club, and it was a nice shirt, nice kid, white and with a red bar, I think, here. And I loved it from the first day on.
There's a great story that his grandmother knitted him a jumper in the Stuttgart colours with the name of Karl-Heinz Förster at the back and number 5. He was his big idol at the time. Hard-nosed, no-nonsense West Germany defender.
Players like Karl-Heinz Förster, Hansi Müller, Didier Six, Asgeir Sigurvinsson were great players. They were not that successful, but successful enough for me as a kid. And yeah, I had a test training at Stuttgart as a small boy, but it was clear I never can go there. It was 80 kilometers and no chance to go to training and things like this. But the good thing is we got a tracksuit from them, red and white Adidas stripes. I was so proud, and my sister had a little accident, I would say, with this tracksuit. I don't know if anybody should iron a tracksuit, but she tried to, and she left the iron on the tracksuit. It was not so good for the tracksuit, and we had a big argument in this night.
When he wasn't following Stuttgart, Klopp was honing his football skills on the local playing fields. Already a tall striker, he first wore the yellow and black of SV Glatten. Klopp then spent 4 years at Ergensingen. Spells at fellow amateur sides Pforzheim, Frankfurt and Sindlingen followed. But aspirations of a full-time playing career were fading fast.
In this time, I didn't think that I can become a professional football player. I studied sports science, played in the 3rd division. We got a little bit of money, but small money, so I had to work. I worked in a pub, I worked in different places. And so it was a busy time. I need a lot of luck to get something like a professional career.
Klopp's hard work and perseverance eventually paid off. In 1990, his big break arrived. He was offered a contract by Mainz 05, a second division club situated on the banks of the River Rhine. Klopp made his debut against VfB Oldenburg in the summer of 1990. Supporters of the self-proclaimed Carnival Club would soon grow to love the man they called Kloppo.
It was fast, very fast. Good header, very good header. Big heart. I was not so good in technician things of the part of the game. And I hated me for this, really. I had big fights with myself. Bad words for myself in many situations of the game. I always tried to understand it a little bit better than the rest of the team because it was the only way to stay in the game.
Despite his self-confessed limitations, Klopp certainly had an eye for goal. He once scored 4 in a 5-0 win against Erfurt. And in all, he hit 56 goals as a player for Mainz.
As he got a little bit older and a little bit slower, like many players before, he was sort of moving back and further back all the time, and then he ended up playing as a centre-back, and I think it's because of his height. He was so good at winning aerial duels, and the second Bundesliga in Germany is very intense and very direct, and not necessarily a league for technicians, or at least it wasn't at the time.
With Klopp now a presence at the back, Mainz found themselves on the brink of promotion in the spring of 1997. The season boiled down to a final day clash away to fellow challengers Wolfsburg. For Mainz, only a win would do.
Very hot day in the summer in Germany. Many Mainz supporters were with us in Wolfsburg. It's quite a long way to go there. I think around about 20,000 people watched on public viewing in Mainz. Very spectacular game.
A dream start saw Mainz take the lead. However, 3 goals in 14 minutes put Wolfsburg in the driving seat. Klopp pulled one back. Mainz then drew level. But the game was up when Wolfsburg took their tally to 5, with Klopp slipping for their 5th. A whirlwind match ended 5-4, and promotion for Mainz would have to wait.
I made a goal, not too bad, but I was the reason for minimum 1 or 2 goals for Wolfsburg. So it was not so cool, but it was the first time for us that we even had the chance to do something like this, and so it was a little bit of a sign that it's not only a dream, it don't have to stay a dream, maybe it could be real.
For Klopp, the player, the dream of promotion would never become a reality. A series of mid-table finishes kept Mainz as a second division club. Klopp remained a key player, however, he was beginning to think about his future.
Yeah, I'm not too smart, but not too silly, so I could have another career, whatever. And when I was around about 31, 32, I knew, oh, no money, not the best future. It's not so good, but I loved the game too much that I could stop it. With my own decision, I had to wait that somebody tell me, come on, go away, we don't want to see you anymore. But yeah, then the things changed, and I got a big chance.
February 2001, carnival time in the town of Mainz. A celebration of colour, costumes and comedy. At Mainz 05, however, the festivities had gone sour. Wolfgang Frank had departed in April 2000. 3 different coaches had tried to fill the Germans' boots. Eckhard Krautzun, the 4th coach in less than a year, was on the ropes. And general manager Christian Heidel had a decision to make.
Also wir hatten damals das Problem, dass wir wieder mal im dicksten Abstiegskampf der 2. Liga waren. Diese Mannschaft ist taktisch besser als die Trainer, die ihr was vermitteln sollten. Und dann kam die Idee auf, wir trainieren uns als erster Club in Deutschland selbst. Jürgen Klopp war immer schon einer, der eine führende Rolle in der Mannschaft hatte, aber wo ich auch wusste, er wird mal Trainer werden. Das hat er immer wieder geäußert. Und auch von der Intelligenz her wusste ich, dass er dieses taktische Know-how hatte.
I had a dream to become a football manager. I always thought somebody come and tell me, oh, now I saw you cannot play football. But I'd have another idea, you can become a manager tomorrow. And I would say, okay, stop. When I'm 25, okay, I stop playing football, I will be a manager. Yeah, that would have been no problem for me. But it was, and it doesn't happen first. I had to wait until I was 33.
Und ich rief ihn dann an, wir waren gerade im Trainingslager in Bad Kreuznach und habe ihm diese sicherlich etwas merkwürdige Idee erzählt.
He called me and asked me if I can be the manager of the team, and I thought no second about it. I said yes, but then I don't want to play anymore. Maybe it was because I always want to be more a manager than a player. Maybe because of this I need no time to think about it.
Well, it was a very important decision for the club. It was planned that Jürgen, maybe he will be the manager of the club, but a little bit later. And we decided to make him for the manager because it was a very important game 2 days later, and nobody could believe that suddenly a player will get a coach.
Klopp's appointment was met with universal approval by all at Mainz, including tough tackling midfielder Sandro Schwarz.
Also es war im Prinzip, der Zeitpunkt war natürlich schon überraschend, aber dass Klopp irgendwann mal Trainer wurde, das war jetzt für uns, also für mich als Spieler keine große Überraschung, weil er schon der Führungsspieler war und auch schon sehr, sehr weit gedacht hat, sehr, sehr viel gedacht hat, auch in der Analyse nach dem Spiel, als Spieler schon sich immer so in Kleingruppen darüber unterhalten hat, was wir hätten besser machen können oder auch speziell der individuelle Spieler, dann gerade wir jungen Spieler dann auch.
Das hat eigentlich in meinen Augen nicht länger wie eine Woche gedauert. Dass er ein unglaublicher Motivator war. Also ich kann mich an seine erste Sitzung noch erinnern. Hätte man mir Schuhe gegeben, ich hätte mitgespielt.
Klopp had 12 games to save Mainz from relegation. He stamped his authority on the side. Playing with a newfound confidence, they won 6 of his first 7 matches. And with a game to spare, Klopp's side was safe from demotion to Germany's 3rd tier.
He got more than 20 points, and we stayed in the 2nd Bundesliga, and that's to say that was the starting of the career of Jürgen.
This was the best time in a job in my life because we thought no second about problems. We only thought about solutions. We had no doubt, absolutely no doubt. We had no pressure, nothing. When we won a game, and we are 2nd division, it's like championship in England, so we are professionals. But when we drove home from a away game and we have won there, we stopped the bus at the and carry beer in the thing. It was crazy, yeah, and I enjoyed this really much.
In the summer of 2001, Klopp prepared for his first full season as a manager. He got to work on ensuring Mainz would never again find themselves in such a precarious position. And the methods he implemented were fully embraced by the team.
Also Kloppo legt sehr, sehr viel Wert auf den Kleinigkeiten, auch erstmal in der Arbeit gegen den Ball. Also das ist ihm schon wichtig, dass wir ein gutes Pressing gespielt haben früher, dass wir sehr raumorientiert gedacht haben, dass wir nicht mannorientiert gedacht haben. Da hat er sehr, sehr großen Fokus darauf gelegt, dass wir von der Physis her und darüber hinaus dann auch das Spiel weiter zu entwickeln in der schnellen Umschaltung nach Ballbesitz.
We were friends. And I was the manager from one second to the other. It felt like natural.
Ich glaube, bei Kloppo ist einfach, also ich glaube nicht, dass er reingeht in eine Sitzung und sich dann 10 Sätze auswendig lernt. Die Inhalte waren immer klar.
This meticulous approach saw Klopp completely transform Mainz's fortunes. They were no longer relegation battlers. To everyone's amazement, Mainz were suddenly among the pace-setters in the race for promotion.
Ja, diese ganze Saison war eigentlich ein Traum, bis auf die letzten 4 Spieltage. Wir waren meiner Erinnerung nach vom 1. bis zum 33. Spieltag auf einem Aufstiegsplatz. Wir hatten teilweise 5, 6, 7 Punkte Vorsprung. Wir waren die Sensation in dieser Liga.
Last 3 games we only need 3 points. Draw, lose. We miss the promotion by 1 point. Yeah, and that was it was especially hard, especially difficult because of we thought it was the only chance in our life.
Das war sehr, sehr unangenehm, aber ich glaube, dass er auch durch dieses Erlebnis sehr gereift.
We played at Berlin and we came back to Mainz and were waiting 10,000 people, I think, for us. And the biggest party ever, I think, when you miss your target, and for sure in Germany, it's good. And we thought, okay, they're not too disappointed. They trust in us. Maybe we should try again. Tried again. And this time we missed because of 1 goal. Yeah, hard.
In contrast to the season before, Mainz entered the race for promotion late on. They went into the final game vying for a Bundesliga place with Eintracht Frankfurt. Mainz trailed Frankfurt on goal difference, and despite a 4-1 victory at Braunschweig, late goals for Frankfurt denied Klopp once again.
And you can imagine that it's for a president and for all the people here in our town, it was a very disappointing situation. There are a lot of pictures. I was sitting on the ground. I got tears in my eyes because, you know, it's like a dream. You had a vision. Starting as a president, I had a vision to play with my club in the 2nd division. Then I had a vision to play in the Bundesliga. And what happened? 2 times you missed. Yeah, it was the end of a dream, I thought. But the dream came back.
This time 20,000 people were waiting for us. Yeah. And we know we will come back. This time we knew it.
Kam der Kämpfer schon durch. Da sagte er, das, was er später auf dem Domplatz vor 10.000 Leuten gesagt hat, wer weiß, für was es gut ist. Wir haben jetzt 2-mal so etwas erlebt und wir werden es ein 3. Mal versuchen.
Das war der größte Moment, da kriege ich heute noch Gänsehaut, wenn ich darüber spreche, muss ich sagen, weil wir da echt das Gefühl hatten, wir als Spieler, jetzt nochmal so einen hohen Aufwand zu betreiben, Freunde, das wird echt relativ schwierig. Und Kloppo war in diesem Moment aber der Erste, der dann gesagt hat, also wir werden den Beweis antreten, das, was ich vorhin schon gesagt habe.
He gave all the people the feeling that we will succeed. He was very optimistic. He gave us a feeling like, you know, on one side, keep smile, and on the other side, you have to work very seriously. You have to believe in the club. You have to believe in your aim, in your dream. You have to believe in yourself and the self-confidence. He gave all the players the self-confidence.
Auch im ersten Trainingstag, dann zur neuen Saison, okay, alles klar. Also wenn es der Sheriff meint, dann werden wir mal kurz folgen.
With confidence sky high, Klopp's pursuit of promotion was gaining momentum. Everyone at Mainz was hoping it would be a case of 3rd time lucky. But a coveted place in the top 3 was never a foregone conclusion during what proved to be another dramatic campaign.
Had not a perfect season. I think 5 match days before the end of the season. Well, we had no chance anymore to go up to 1st division, to Bundesliga. And then I sat in a pub in Mainz. And I could not watch football in this time. I thought, no, I don't want to see this. Not 2nd division football. I watched by the video text, and I saw the results of the Friday games in 2nd division. It were all our opponents, our direct opponents, and they lost all. And I thought, okay, I think it's a sign. And I took my cell phone and I wrote all the players an SMS and said to them, okay, if they don't want, then we will.
Klopp's text message struck a chord with his players. They battled their way back into the fight for promotion. And come the final match day, this was the position at the top. Mainz had an outside chance of promotion, if Alemannia Aachen were to slip up. Klopp's players had kept their side of the bargain, beating Eintracht Trier 2-0. However, only when the news of Aachen's defeat to Karlsruhe filtered through could the celebrations begin.
And we did it. And it was unbelievable.
To succeed, to get up in the first division at the third time, that was like an explosion. And therefore it was one of the biggest days for the city here, because everybody was full of joy. And it was an incredible feeling.
Und ich glaube, jeder konnte die Gedanken des anderen lesen in dem Moment. Jetzt ist ein Aufstieg für viele Vereine ja nichts Besonderes. Aber man muss halt wissen, Mainz 05 war 100 Jahre alt und hat noch nie in der Bundesliga gespielt. Also da ist einfach eine Entwicklung dann eingetreten und die ist sehr, sehr eng mit dem Namen Jurgen Klopp verbunden.
To do this, first time in a long, long history of a small club and change the football in Germany, because usually it's not possible to go with a club like this to Bundesliga, and nobody needs you in the Bundesliga. You have not a good stadium, you have nothing. So, and to open this door for all these people in Mainz, it was the best thing we ever could do.
In 2004, Jurgen Klopp steered Mainz to the Bundesliga for the first time in the club's history. His next challenge was to keep the Carnival club in the top flight. Despite having a shoestring budget to work on, Klopp primed his side for the fight. And they defied the odds. In 2005 and 2006, Mainz finished 11th, holding their own against bigger and better equipped clubs. On both occasions, they qualified for the UEFA Cup. Klopp's side were living the dream. However, in the summer of 2007, the bubble burst. Mainz crashed out of the Bundesliga. The club missed out on an instant return the following season. And in the summer of 2008, Klopp announced he was to leave Mainz after 18 years.
Jürgen Klopp kam nie zu mir und hat gesagt, er möchte am Ende der Saison aufhören, sondern ich bin zu ihm gegangen, weil ich das Gefühl hatte, ich kenne ihn so gut wie kaum ein anderer. Ich hatte das Gefühl, dass der Punkt gekommen ist. Ich hatte natürlich das Gefühl, dass Jürgen Klopp ist bereit für die Bundesliga. Also ich kann mich noch an die Szene erinnern, wo wir darüber gesprochen haben, da ist ihm am Hals gefallen.
It was obviously a decision from mind, not from heart, because a few of my best friends for life live in Mainz, of course. I've been there for 18 years. It was a decision we made together. If we go to First Division again, then we stay. If not, we have to leave. It's better for us, better for the club. And the last match day, we didn't reach the target. So it was clear it's time to say goodbye.
I consider it one of the saddest moments in my life, in my football life, I have to say. It was incredible, because imagine we had the last game in versus St. Pauli, Hamburg, and at the end everybody was singing "You Never Walk Alone."
Und dann haben wir es wirklich noch mal getoppt, eine Woche später, weil dann hatte ich so die Idee, weil ich jetzt gespürt habe auch im Stadion, das reicht nicht. Hier muss eine...
And Mainz told me that on Friday there was a big goodbye party. I said, please don't do this, I don't need, thank you. You cannot say no in a situation like this. You have to accept it, thanks.
Die ganze Stadt, weil auch die Stadt ihm sehr viel zu verdanken hat. Auf Wiedersehen, das war sicherlich ein Zeichen des Respekts, der Achtung vor Jürgen Klopp, des Dankeschön vor Jürgen Klopp.
That was our manager, and everybody loves him.
It was a really crazy afternoon. Yeah, it was crazy. The whole city was on their legs, I would say. Good party at the end. Only disturbed through a little bit of crying by the former manager. Sorry for this, but to say goodbye is always not too easy.
Jurgen Klopp was the name on everyone's lips in the summer of 2008. His inimitable approach and his success at Mainz had made him a target for several top Bundesliga clubs. Bayer Leverkusen, Hamburg and the reigning champions Bayern Munich all showed interest. But another club looking to tempt him was sleeping giants Borussia Dortmund. And once they made their interest known, it was a simple decision for Klopp.
When I thought first time about where do I want to go, if you could have a dream, where would you want to go? And I said, Dortmund. But I had no contact, nil. Yeah. When they called, it was really difficult not to shout in the first second, yes! So everybody had it was a good day for us. Yeah, I was really excited because big club, big stadium, everything. Not the best situation at this moment, but don't care about this. And that's really a good decision.
It is a bit of a match made in heaven because they're a big team who kind of lost their way a little bit. Financial problems, team not playing any interesting football, fans disillusioned, bad atmosphere. And they're looking at this guy and think, you know, if he can do what he did at Mainz, that kind of football, that kind of emotion, in the Signal Iduna Park, 80,000 people, it'd be amazing. And he gets in there and almost from the first day, transforms the whole club.
Klopp was undoubtedly the charismatic frontman, but he was backed by a loyal band of staff. Željko Buvac followed him on the journey to Dortmund, as did Peter Kravitz, who was a video analyst at Mainz.
In Dortmund I had a new role as the second assistant, so there was always the advantage that we know each other, that we are friends, something like this, and being a friend and a colleague, so it can be an advantage. And yeah, it was always like this, that we can, and this since today, that we can trust in each other, and that's one of the biggest advantages. Then we came to Dortmund, and starting the next adventure was very similar to mine, and from the first day on we feel very, very good with this club.
There was no doubting the size of the task Klopp faced. Dortmund had finished 13th the previous season. Memories of a last title win in 2001 were fading fast. Klopp's challenge was to win over the players, and his first move was to appoint a new captain. Sebastian Kehl, a veteran of 7 years loyal service at Dortmund, was his obvious choice. And Klopp made an immediate impression on the cultured midfielder.
War vom ersten Tag an natürlich hochmotiviert, sehr, sehr ehrgeizig. Das Feuer in den Augen war zu spüren und hat das natürlich auch als Riesenchance gesehen. Deswegen war diese Verbindung vom ersten Tag an sehr, sehr intensiv. Im Grunde genommen jeden Tag vermittelt, dass er eine Art Gegenpressing spielen möchte, dass er eine hohe Laufbereitschaft an den Tag legt, dass das Thema Leidenschaft und Wille auch wieder ganz, ganz anders angegangen werden.
They played a football that is so infectious. You know, when you see 10 players, 10, 11 players work so hard and run so much, the energy that you see on the pitch jumps over, there's a spark, and it lights up the crowd, and then it goes back from the crowd and gets the players to run even more, and he had that sort of effect.
Wir haben am Anfang kleinere Schritte gemacht, aber trotzdem einen deutlich positiven Trend gezeigt, und die Entwicklung der Mannschaft war gerade am Anfang auch deutlich spürbar.
Huge strides were made during Klopp's first season in charge. Dortmund lost just twice in front of the famous yellow wall as they climbed the Bundesliga table. However, Borussia Mönchengladbach denied them a European qualification place on the final day of the campaign. The following year, Klopp steered the club back into Europe. Dortmund had their swagger back, but no one could have foreseen what was just around the corner.
The 2010-11 season starts with Bayern, of course, being the big favourites. Dortmund is seen as a very young team, it's up and coming, but nobody really talks about them as possible champions. But they have this amazing start. They win 7 times in a row away from home. They're top of the table after 10 games and then never drop off.
The pressure was rising, everybody was recognizing, okay, it's possible. Don't get nervous, do your things, what you always do. And this is what we did great in this phase.
They just keep winning, they keep getting results. They keep saying to themselves, let's not look at the table, Just look at the next game. Jurgen Klopp says, I'm really not concerned. I don't talk about the championship, not interested. And as the club and the players perhaps also themselves get more and more nervous and anxious, I think he manages to stay very cool.
Ach, den Druck hat er nicht so an sich rangelassen. Er hat natürlich immer eine Art auch gehabt, das umzuwandeln in positive Energie, in Leidenschaft und war total begeistert einfach.
In late February, Dortmund made their biggest statement of intent. A commanding win over Bayern Munich put them 12 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga. With 3 games to go, Dortmund had the chance to win their first title for 10 years. 80,000 fans were packed into Signal Iduna Park. Defeat for Leverkusen against Cologne and a victory for Dortmund over Nuremberg would be enough.
It's pressure on us. Very young team. I think we are the youngest team ever who could get German champion. And then the voice of Signal Iduna Park, Norbert Dickel. You hear him. Usually I can't hear what he's saying during a game because it's not so good of the sound system. I understood what he said. And he said, 1-0 Köln in Leverkusen. And it was an explosion in the stadium. Really. And a few minutes later, 2-0, and then it was clear we are through. Because we were 2-0 lead and the game was over here, and so it was unbelievable feeling.
It was a great story, very interesting and amazing, and a dream for us all to win the German title for the first time, and we did it, and this was an unbelievable feeling. Yeah.
Dortmund have with the yellow wall the biggest terrace in Europe, and it is an awesome sight. But that combination of this young team playing this 100 miles an hour football and 25,000 people behind one goal shouting their heads off was frightening. And I think that was worth a lot of wins and a lot of extra points. And with somebody on the touchline who understood the dynamics of it, and the way he experienced the game, always jumping around, waving his arms in the air, fist pumps and all that stuff, just made everybody even more excited.
Nach so langer Zeit mal wieder deutscher Meister zu werden, vor allem nach den wirklich schwierigen Jahren, die wir zuvor hatten, war es eine große Erleichterung, aber eine Riesenfreude, und ich glaube, wir haben den Menschen sehr, sehr viel zurückgegeben.
Nobody had really won a league playing that way, playing almost like an underdog. In a long, long time, and it's a huge success, and they're hugely likable. Schalke fans, their local rivals, will disagree with me, but I think the rest of Germany, people looked at this team and thought, this is a great football team. This is an amazing story, and Klopp, of course, is probably the biggest factor in all of it.
The summer of 2011 was one long party for the city of Dortmund. In winning Borussia's 7th German title, Jurgen Klopp had restored immense pride. He'd become a hero of the famous Yellow Wall. But how would Klopp and his young side handle being the reigning champions?
When Dortmund won in 2010-11, there is talk of this team being raided by everybody. Everybody wants Hummels, everybody wants Subotic. Lewandowski not so much at the time, but everybody wants these players, but they don't go. Everyone's staying.
We had the first meeting in the new season after holiday and all these things, after being champion in 2011. Nobody knows how we will react on being champion. These guys were, most of them born in '88, so the oldest one was 23. How could I know how they will react? Maybe they got lazy or whatever.
I think through Klopp, through the club, through the players themselves, there's almost a kind of a band of brothers type scenario where they decide we're going to stick together. Let's see how far we can take this.
Dortmund's defence of the title started badly. After 6 games, the champions had already lost 3. Klopp's team was 11th in the Bundesliga, 8 points behind leaders Bayern Munich, and doubts were beginning to surface.
We knew that it's very hard to defend the title, but there was, at this point, it was really interesting because we said, okay, let's try. We know that we can do better. It was hard, but we knew how to do, and we didn't change big things. So it was always our thinking in this way, and that is what made this success possible. Yeah.
Defeat at Hanover in mid-September was to be Dortmund's last of the season. They remained unbeaten for a German record of 28 league games. Fired by young talents like the skillful Mario Götze and local heroes like Kevin Grosskreutz, Dortmund steamrolled all in their path. 10 pivotal days in April would decide the destiny of the title, starting with a titanic home clash against Bayern Munich. Robert Lewandowski's deft flick put Dortmund ahead. However, in the 85th minute, Arjen Robben was handed the chance to equalise from the penalty spot. Roman Weidenfeller guessed right, and Klopp's men held on for a vital win.
Danach sind wir zum Derby gefahren, dort habe ich selber getroffen. Wir haben 2:1 auf Schalke gewonnen und haben eine Woche später dann, glaube ich, gegen Gladbach zu Hause beim Abendspiel die Meisterschaft fix gemacht.
This difficult year what we have and so on, because Bayern of course will strike back. Yeah, we had another good year. So again we were 3 match days before the end, German champion with a new record, 81 points.
Back-to-back title successes left Dortmund fans feeling on top of the world, and it was about to get better. Klopp's side had battled their way to the German Cup final and stood on the brink of an historic double. Standing in their way at Berlin's Olympic Stadium, yet again, fierce rivals Bayern.
It's a perfect final, perfect final. One half, in this case red, one half yellow, 75,000. Great atmosphere, only sport, no aggression. A whole party through the city, it's great. This day we didn't feel pressure. We didn't feel pressure, we felt really good. And we thought we have nothing to lose. It's not often in your life that you have really nothing to lose, because we were German champions. For us, more than we expected.
We played an unbelievable cup final against Bayern, unbelievable game, and a great performance of the team.
They really played Bayern off the pitch. Lewandowski and Kagawa unplayable that day.
Yeah, it was a dream.
Dass wir in diesem Jahr auch den Titel noch holen konnten in Berlin. Ich glaube, es war auch so eine Folge einfach unserer Dominanz und unserer Stärke. War schon etwas ganz Besonderes und für mich persönlich als Kapitän natürlich auch eine unbeschreibliche Geschichte.
That is really the high point of Dortmund and Jurgen Klopp, the 2012 season. Winning the double is something that I think will be cherished forever.
I can remember one situation. It was the morning after, and we had a great party. We were a little bit tired, and going back to the bus, and our bus driver put the trophies in front of this, and I was sitting there, and just unbelievable. Look at this, how great. Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah.
When we came back to Dortmund, then I don't know how much or how many, but I think around about 500,000–600,000 people were waiting for us. Yeah, it was good.
Having clinched the club's first ever League and Cup double, conquering Europe was Klopp's next goal. Faced with Ajax, Manchester City and Real Madrid in the group stage, Klopp's side had to be at their full throttle best. They claimed top spot in that group with 4 wins and 2 draws. In the round of 16, Shakhtar Donetsk were beaten, setting up a quarter-final clash against Malaga. A goalless draw in Spain paved the way for one of the most memorable games in Champions League history.
So everybody was expecting, okay, Malaga was not the strongest opponent, of course, in this tournament. Yeah, so you should do it at home. We knew that we had to respect them. Of course, I knew about the quality of the team, but then they came and we played really bad. It was something like a bad hair day. Yeah, doing nothing, works well, and 1-0 for Malaga. Oh, brilliant goal. I think again Lewandowski for the draw. Okay, back in the race. 2-1 Malaga. 87-minute played, something like this. Yeah, it's over. And then we made two. I think we made two changes there because we were nervous. Of course, we tried everything, and then we had big luck. I think, yeah, at the end, we made 2 goals, 1-3-2. We're in the half final. Afterwards, we heard about maybe 10,000 people left the stadium when 2-1. And until today, if you meet somebody, it's always a big laugh in the city. Think of when you're in your car and open the window and think, what happened? Oh, I made a goal. And, oh, once again. So, yeah, not the best decision.
Lying in wait at the last 4 stage was a Real Madrid side hell-bent on revenge. Dortmund had already beaten Jose Mourinho's side at home in the group phase, and another remarkable night was in store for those on the yellow wall. One man, in particular, stole the show.
Again, Lewandowski showed a brilliant performance of my team at home. 4 goals Lewandowski helps us to go to the final, and that was a big dream. It was a big, big dream.
They are suddenly a team that's being recognised, and Klopp is hugely exciting. Manager gives these crazy interviews in the mixed zone in English afterwards, and everybody's saying, wow, what a team. And of course, they come within a whisker of winning the biggest prize of all.
Wembley Stadium, 25th of May, 2013. The first ever all-German Champions League final. The most glittering prize in European football at stake. The biggest game of Jurgen Klopp's career so far.
It could have been Real Madrid against Barcelona. Many of us thought it would be. But I think we've got not just the best 2 sides in German football, we've got the best 2 sides in Europe tonight.
They get a little bit unlucky. If you look at the whole game, they have the better start, probably should take the lead, then go 1-0 down.
And it's not good by Mandzukic! The Croatian has put Bayern Munich in front!
Then Gundogan equalises.
Opportunity for Borussia Dortmund. It's Gundogan, and he's going to strike it right-footed. Short run up, there it goes! Goalkeeper went to his right, the ball went to the keeper's left, and it's 1-1, Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich.
Bayern are very lucky that Dante doesn't get sent off for the foul that brings the penalty.
An Italian referee. Yeah. But it is like it is. We had 1-1, and then very late in the game, Arjen Robben made the goal. And, yeah.
Ribery trying to flick it on towards Robben. Robben must now score, and Robben does score. Arjen Robben has surely clinched Bayern Munich's first Champions League for 12 years.
We lost, but it's a good experience.
The final whistle's gone, and Bayern Munich are the champions of Europe for the first time in 12 years. There always was going to be a German winner here this evening, but Bayern Munich have added the Champions League to their league title.
That was certainly when it came to European performances, the year where everybody, I think, realised Dortmund are not just a flash in the pan, they're not just sort of a German domestic phenomenon, they're actually one of the best teams in Europe.
Borussia Dortmund make the walk that no one wants to make when you're the runners-up in any competition. But their fans have been magnificent tonight. Their team have played a part, not just here, but of course throughout the Champions League. We think about their astonishing comeback against Malaga. We didn't think they'd even get to the semi-final at one stage.
When you sort of track back their steps, I think the magnitude of the achievement becomes visible, because you're not used to seeing a team coming almost from nowhere to being a real contender in Europe.
Jurgen Klopp looks absolutely exhausted, as if he's played himself, doesn't he? He does expend so much emotional energy on the touchline. Well, we're going to see an awful lot more of him as he shakes hands with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who just has a word of sympathy with him.
Sadly, under Klopp, Dortmund would never scale the same heights in Europe. Domestically, they continued to entertain, but Bayern Munich had become an all-conquering force. In 2014, Dortmund finished second in the Bundesliga. The following season, they were seventh and runners-up in the German Cup final. It was to be Klopp's last campaign at the helm.
Of course, it's hard again, but again, decisions made in my mind. And Dortmund was absolutely great. It's a great club. I like the city. It's so good people there. Everything is good. But 7 years on this high level is long. And it was quite intensive. And at the end, I thought, yeah, it's better to leave again for both sides.
The club and Jurgen Klopp realised that, we've done everything we could have done and more here. We've fulfilled our dreams, and now it's time to look for a new challenge. But I think he was waiting for the right club to come in, for the right opportunity. I got the sense that he realised that rushing into a job the way maybe it's your natural instinct after you've worked so long in football, and you get nervous if the next job is not coming. I think he realised that it was better for him, to get a bit of distance after the years at Dortmund, to recharge his batteries, but also more crucially, wait for the right match.
And I thought for me it would be a break. Cool. Yeah. I tried to make a break, not a real break. Yeah. And then the first 4 months of my break were really holiday. Yeah, and then there came another big club. Yeah.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Life. Na 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 na. Where we all give the power, we all give the best. Every minute of an hour, don't think about the rest. When we all give the power, we all give the best. When everyone gets everything and every song, everybody sing, life is life. Na 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 na. Life is life, na na